Good morning from Mexico. My name is Gregorio Lewis, and I'm about to share my story taken from the Victim to Victory Change Starts with Your Story collaborative 18 author anthology Survivor Healer Radical Revolutionary storybook. My story is titled The Beginning, the Beautiful Life of a Murder Survivor. My mother tried to kill me. I often think about my eyes not opening up because of what I've been through. I made a commitment to myself that I would never end my life by my own hands. Although I do think about it from time to time. My family is Jewish. My mother is my personal Dr. Joseph Mengele. My mother used Munchausen's syndrome by proxy on me, which is where a caregiver or a parent makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make a child look ill. And because of that, I should be dead. When I was 14 years old, I was locked in a psychiatric facility. All were in agreement that I was not mentally ill, except my parents. The professional consensus was that my parents, however, needed counseling and intervention. Unfortunately, or fortunately, my parents had the money to buy doctors, and that is what they did. Craig Lewis, Gregorio Lewis, was given an intentionally fraudulent diagnosis of schizophrenia at age 15. This diagnosis resulted in me taking approximately 80,000 psychotropic pills between 1988 and 2015, which is 28 years of treatment, healthcare, housing subsidies, food stamps, and more at a cost of an estimated 3 million United States dollars. In 2013, while I was employed by the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health, DMH, as a counselor, I obtained my adolescent mental health records. I was a ward of the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health, DMH, when I was an adolescent. When I obtained my records, it was the first time that I became aware that I had been a 28-year victim. The clinicians and psychiatrists' own handwriting proved this. My life was thrown away at age 14 in a system structured to save lives. Many knew, yet nobody protected me. The first time I was sexually abused was in 1988 in a DMH facility. Being diagnosed with schizophrenia is not permission to violate my body or anyone else's for that matter. But that's what happened. The abuse ended shortly before my 18th birthday. I did not have schizophrenia. What I had was abusive parents who gaslit and labeled me, even if not with conscious intent, as a mentally ill person for their benefit. My parents threatened a still active psychiatrist into egregiously changing my medical documentation from non-symptomatic to being gaslit to having schizophrenia. My first sexual experience was forced upon me in this psychiatrist's office by a woman in the house I was locked in while impotent and I had grown breasts due to the effects of the psychiatric medication I was put on. The day before Thanksgiving 1988, I showed that psychiatrist that I had grown breasts. On Thanksgiving Day 1988, at my parents' house, one of my older cousins was wrestling with me and my shirt got pulled up and I freaked out because I had breasts. When I freaked out, the narrative that I was a mentally ill person was solidified with my whole family. 34 years later, that narrative still shockingly persists, despite my extended family's extensive white-collar professional background. My mother was an active member of her local Jewish community, and my father was a successful corporate lawyer. It's been 5 years since I had a family, but unfortunately, I don't know what a family is supposed to be like because of how I was treated. For 28 years, I, Craig Lewis, Gregorio Lewis, was a toilet. And so people treated me accordingly. It was normal because a toilet serves one purpose. And because I was sick, I was easily flushed. Except I never had symptoms that met the criteria of a mental illness. I don't understand why I've chosen to live after all the abuse, as I would have had ended it all, as I could have ended it all today, right now, right here, right now, and never again have to live with the unhealed trauma of others. But for me, now, I have a purpose to share my true life experience so that not only others can know that they are not alone, but so as a society, we can be more aware that medical gaslighting, psychiatric neglect, and family abuse is real. And that for some of us, psychotropic medication is the primary form of abuse. On May 1st, 2015, I took my last pill, acting as my own defiant superhero and as crazy as I thought the psychiatrists were. They and my other doctors at Boston Medical Center told me that if I didn't stop taking the psychiatric drugs, I would never get better. So, because of them, and their willingness to defy the standard medical model, which with they which they were indoctrinated into, I'm healing with each day, and I'm healing with each new sunrise. And today is October 1st, 2022. Thank the heavens, right? For 10 years, I worked as a certified peer specialist. It was and still is my passion to help others transcend the very worst things that could be done to a person. Due to my compassion and intention to love myself, in the way that all children and humans are worthy of, I continue in my loving act of defiance and empowerment. Like all human beings, I was born pure, and it is my human right, as it is yours, to be the truth that my story is, and that your story is. Be your truth. Be your truth. Be your truth. F what they said you were. Be your truth. Ultimately, after years of volunteering, I self-published The Better Days, a mental health recovery workbook. Excuse me, there's somebody outside my door yelling something at me in Spanish. Well, I know what they're saying. They're saying buenos dias. But whatever they're trying to get me to do right now, I'm in the middle of sharing my story with you. But I am a very distractible person sometimes, so pardon me. We're going to take to you right now. I'm just going to ignore him, and he's going to understand. I'm not looking over that way. I am not looking over. Lo siento, señor. Pardon me. Like all human beings, I was born pure, and it is my human right to be the truth that my story is. Same for you, okay? Igualmente. My face hurts from smiling. While studying to become a certified peer specialist, as part of my internship, I created a support group format based on my personal daily recovery journey. I'm not supposed to be smiling right now. Let me pull it together. Or maybe I am supposed to be smiling, so thanks to the man, the hombre. Ultimately, after years of volunteering, I self-published The Better Days, a mental health recovery workbook, with over 10,000 copies in print. In 2015, I was an eyewitness to a mental health colleague sexually exploiting rape survivors in a psychiatric hospital. I was mandated to report the abuse, and I did. You have understood correctly that there is something wrong in my life involving the Massachusetts Department of Mental Health. The same institution which funded my paychecks was also the same institution who was responsible for my 28 years of torture via psychiatric medication. May 2015 was the month that I finally liberated myself from 28 years of abuse. It was obvious that I sustained psychiatric drug-induced chronic brain impairment from the medication. And I began seeking treatment with a neurologist at Boston Medical Center. Thankfully, cannabis was prescribed to me, and it helped me heal in remarkably profound ways. I now know that I should have kept my mouth shut about the abuse that I witnessed. But I loved working as a mental health provider, and I cared about those people's lives. Two birds were killed with one stone, and I am both birds. I'm a murder survivor. My name is Gregorio Lewis. My name is Craig Lewis. My punk rock nickname is Krusty Craig. I'm a murder survivor. My name is Gregorio Lewis, and I'm a murder survivor. Perhaps because I've been a punk rocker since I was a teenager, I somehow had it in me to stand up and fight for what I believe in, because injustice is intolerable for me. Being expendable hurt me. Being erased forced me to fight. I was given two ultimatums. One by my family. Thanks, Mom. One by my colleagues. Thanks, you know who. If I didn't stop talking about what happened, I would have neither a family nor a career. So, I, Craig Lewis, Gregorio Lewis, Krusty Craig, whatever you want to call me, Guapo, Hermoso, Cabron, a lot of other names. I answer to as well. So I accepted the consequences for choosing to be free and for telling my story. I became homeless in January 2018 and left everything I knew behind. I jumped, as illustrated by the comedian Steve Harvey, and you can Google this on YouTube, during an outtake of Family Feud. I bought a one-way ticket to Europe and I stayed. I spent more than a year traveling to most European countries, sharing my survivor story, giving professional trainings for mental health workers. I swear to God. On some days, I would earn $900 despite being unable to get work back home in the United States. What can I say? What I can say is that I'm a stubborn and difficult, but ultimately kind and loving man. I made the decision to stay alive and tell my story to the world. no matter what. So maybe I've set myself up for a life of misery. Or perhaps a life of beauty. I've published 6 books about healing from trauma. I intend to experience my last natural breath. My heart is pure, and love flows through my veins. Love and honor are the most important things in the world to me. Maybe by sharing this story with the world, some people will care enough about me and others to somehow help make something better. Make everything better, because I can't do it all myself. At least not for me, especially not for you. What I do know is this. I know that this story will become well known and impact the millions who will read it. The process of writing this chapter and sharing this information with you all and the public in this form that facilitates the possibility that many, many, many people will learn about me and that there are others like me, and that we deserve respect and kindness and compassion and support and love and help. Results in my life getting better and results in my healing becoming more and more possible and getting better every day. And the truth is, I survived this. And if I survive this, then you can survive whatever happened to you, no matter how bad it is, no matter how terrible it is, no matter how disgusting it is, no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how hopeless you feel, no matter what anyone else said, no matter what anyone else did, yesterday, today, or tomorrow, I'm living proof that the power exists within me. And if it exists within me, it exists within you. So no matter what they said about you or what they did to you, give yourself a chance. Choose to be who you were born to be. No matter what happened to you after you took your first breath, you were still born as innocent as a puppy or a kitten. No matter what anyone else did to you in this world, they can't take that from you. You can become, once again, the pure beauty that you were as a gift to the universe when you were first born and breathed your first breath. No matter what anyone did to you, that's their shame. Let it go. Let it go by talking about it and fighting for you. Don't let anybody tell you something's wrong with you when you're good. Don't let anybody tell you to shut your mouth when talking will help you heal. Don't let anybody scare you to death, because that's not a life. Let them scare you to life. Use that brain. Use your gifts. Trust that you were born for a reason. And with that said, thank you for taking the time to learn the truth about me, the real Gregorio, Craig Lewis. I love you all, wherever you are. And if you feel like it, you can go to my website, sanityisafultimejob.org. And if you go to the shop, you can find my books and all sorts of things. And you can also email me, and connect and do something cool, make something great happen. Help make the world a better place with me. Help me, help you, help us, help others. Thank you to Victim to Victory for allowing my story to be published in their amazing 18-author collaborative book. it's it's an honor to be here today. I often think I'm gonna not make it, but I do. And so, with love from my heart, for all the people watching this, for all my fellow authors, and for anybody who has also survived the impossible and is just trying to figure out how to be, take it from me. It's not easy, but it's possible. And so, if I can do it, if I can do something, if I can do this, if I can do this, then you can too. I am the evidence. I love you. I'm talking to myself and all of you. Bye.